We decided for the group today that we would take a vote, and we're going to cover off, just because spring is coming up and listings are obviously key priority for emphasis. Everybody understands, you've heard the saying, if you list, you last, you list, you survive, all of those things, all those reasons behind it. I think the biggest, most important reason why we focus on listings is that NAR has a statistic for us that says that the average agent in a normal market, if they have a listing, believe it or not, can spin up to 15 other pieces of business, so 15 other transactions, if they're good at spinning business off of a listing and using their inventory to do that. The spin is so much greater, and also that statistic with NAR where we're only spending an average about 8 hours of hard-earned time with the seller versus 32 hours for the same amount of money and commissions when we're working with buyers and sellers. So our focus today is just one of those areas where I like personally, not the easiest platform to get listing inventory, but one of those areas where I think it seems to be a no-brainer for me, and that's just covering off looking at working the expired listing. Now, in some areas of the countries, there's states and province places like that don't allow this. In my trading area, we are able to do expireds. And so we're going to go through the whole process of working the expired listing and why I think it's one of the what I say real estate's Fab Five. There's the Fab Five and 5 ways in which you can generate business, and expired listings and for sale by owners is in that Fab Five category and always will be in that category. So I just want to preface the whole list, the last thing, but also the expired listing. So why do I like expired listings so much? So think about this. An expired listing is a seller who already owns a home. We love that. They already own a home. Perfect. There's someone that already wants to sell. We love that even more. They already want to sell. There's someone that's already willing to list and use a real estate agent to market their property. We love that even better. And the best of all is that they're already willing to pay and pay for fees and pay for our services for the agents in doing all that. So if you consider that, all those things, it doesn't get any better than these people for a prospect. Would you guys agree? I mean, they already own a home. They already want to sell. They're already willing to list with real estate professionals. They understand the power and the benefit of us already. They're willing to pay the fees. And the statistics say that they're going to list their home and try it again. And I'm hoping from today's exercise that it'll be with you. Okay, so those are the biggest benefits and the biggest reasons why I love this topic and why I love this category, because it just makes sense that all these check boxes of reasons of why I would prospect them just fill into my prospecting model in that. So those are the benefits to and why we would like to work that expired market. Now, how do I relate to an expired? Okay, so I use this analogy. An expired listing or expired listing sellers are like a giant red helium balloon. Okay, so I always say to agents, how do I get a giant red helium balloon from popping, from exploding, from blowing up in my face? And the best way to do that is for us to understand how to relate to them. And how we relate to them is coming to them with empathy and sympathy. So everybody in the room know what I mean by empathy and sympathy. So empathy, where we're being understanding, we're being we get where they're coming from. We're showing compassion. We're feeling it for them. We understand it. They're frustrated, and we're coming from that mindset to help relate to these people and being sensitive and cautious to them and understanding to them. And so how we do that is like letting a little bit of air out of that balloon. So we engage them with letting them share and letting them vent and letting them talk, and then they let a little air out of that balloon. And then we get them a little talk a little bit more and share a little bit more, and they let a little bit more air out of that balloon. And sooner or later, that red balloon that was ready to blow up and pop now is something that's somewhat deflated. And like Tom Brady and the Patriots, you get those deflated balls and you can win and you can start getting things on your side, right? We all know that. Okay? So we're going to be like Tom Brady and Mr. Kraft, and we're going to deflate these balls and deflate these red balloons, and we're going to get these people to come around and be on our side and start to open up to us, okay? Now, we have to understand to them, we should be apologizing. You're saying, what do you mean, Wade, you should be apologizing? We have to say sorry to these people. Organized real estate, we failed them. We sucked. Like, we did a terrible job. We lied. In some cases, we lied to them. We told them that it was okay that they could list and they'd get that kind of money. So we got to look at this from our standpoint, is that our industry failed them. Our industry, somebody told them that something that wasn't the truth, and we got to come from that standpoint and say, you know what? I am really, really sorry that that happened to you. Okay? Then my next approach is to renew their faith, to renew their hope. So by doing that is asking, and so I asked them, so tell me why you were going to sell and what was going to happen. What were you going to do if you sold? What was going to happen there? And I want to take and renew their hope and renew their faith and renew that. So I use that analogy that it's like if you're a camper and you left the fire burning all night, and in the morning there's some embers still in that fire pit. And in the morning, instead of lighting a fresh match, you try to put some paper on it and you blow on those embers and you try to get that paper lit and try to get that fire going again. It's the same kind of example with an expired listing. I want to fan the embers and fan that fire that's left in the morning and see if I can't get that into a flame and get them excited about what their goals and what their ideas were and what their hopes and dreams were about what they wanted to do the first time before that agent came in and lied to them and sucked and let them down. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, so renew their hope, renew their faith, and restore it, and give them some sense of hope. Like, I look at expired agents and expired listings, guys. You have to look at yourselves as people out there that are willing to say, I am sorry, and willing out there to say, I am here to give you hope. You're messengers of hope, that if it's done correctly and it's done truthfully and it's done authentically, and that I believe that we can get the job done for you this time, and we're deliverers of messages of hope. Any questions about the reasons why we like expireds and why we like these prospects? Any questions about how we relate to that expired seller and how we relate to these people? Any thoughts or questions on that so far?
Yeah, one question.
Please.
I've called expired before, and you get like 2 seconds. Otherwise, a lot of them hang up or cuss you out, or
yeah.
And so, how do you approach somebody who is like you said, a red hot balloon that's just ready to?
Yeah, great question. So I'm going to share the 3 ways to approach it, and I'm going to share my way of approaching it, and then that should answer your question. I'm going to just hold off because I love the question, because you've already set me up for some of the next screens and some of the next slide decks and that. So it's a perfect question, and we're going to cover that off for you. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. Any other questions on that so far, or that's a great question? We're going to cover that off for sure. Good.
Yes, one
more. How do you deal with the expired listings that the sellers have really bubble expectations? They come back and they say, once you gave me $1 million for my house, and you know it's only 900, and then I will give it to you if you promise me you gave me $1 million.
Right.
And so, it's not a praise that.
Right. And so I can tell you this. What we're looking for in an expired is someone that needs to sell, wants to sell, or has to sell. Does that make sense? So with expired listings, we are not David Copperfields. We can't make an elephant disappear on the stage, okay? Yeah. We're not here to be magicians. We're here to be professional, truthful, transparent, authentic advisors. So we're here to identify the people that have something they're running from or something they're running to, and people that want to, need to, and have to sell. And that is not all expireds. Would you all agree?
Yes.
Right? So we're just looking for, it's a numbers game. We're just looking for the ones that want to, need to, and have to, not hope to, pay too much, need too much, want too much. Okay? So we all run into the expireds, Mr. and Mrs. Pay too much, need too much, want too much. We're looking for have to, need to, want to, and are willing to. That's what we're looking for in that. And we can't lie to them, because we already had somebody else lie to them previous, so we're not going to lie to them to get their listing again and not sell it, and then now we've got 2 realtors that have pissed them off and lied to them and back to back, right? That's not our goal. What we're looking for is people, and so one of the things we're going to do is we're going to ask questions, and I think the greatest salesperson when it comes to real estate and to expireds is the ones that ask engaging, thought-provoking questions. So let me ask you this question, and they're like, huh. And so you can't try and change their minds, because when you try to change someone's mind, they get upset and defensive. What you're trying to do is ask thought-provoking and engaging questions to make them change how they think, which changes how they feel, and in turn changes how they act. So I know everybody thought they were just signing up for a real estate office meeting this morning and not psychology and human psychology and that. But the reality is that, guys, we are in the shrink business and in the psychology business, and you're in the business of changing how people think, feel, and act. And that comes about by you asking engaging, thought-provoking questions and not lying to them and taking a listing and failing them again like most other agents do in expired. So that'd be a fair comment.
Yep.
Okay, fair comment. So we're going to develop thought-provoking, feeling changing and thought changing ideas and questions that are going to turn things around. And we're just looking for the ones that want to, need to, have to, not the ones that paid too much, need to, want too much. Okay, that's not what we're looking for. Okay, so we're not in the David Copperfield business. We're not going to chain and make an elephant disappear, and we're not going to lie to them like the last guy. We're just looking for the ones that are willing to change their thoughts and change their feelings and change their actions this time around. Okay?
Yep.
And it's not all the expireds. It's not all of them, but it is some of them. And that's all we want, is we want just the sum of them. Okay? So here's what I found in all my experience in real estate. Okay? What are all the agents doing? And you nailed it. The young lady that asked the question before, I call and I mail. Every agent that's doing expireds is mailing. Every agent that's mailing or doing expireds is calling. Okay? And I know that they're mailing on day one or week one, and I know they're calling on day one and they're calling on week one. Would everybody agree with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So my next question is, who's calling and who's mailing and who's trying after week one, after month 3, after month?
Nobody.
Nobody. You got her, man. Like you think there's a ton of agents doing it, and there's not. Like even in my trading area, there's a half a dozen agents that mail and call on day one and week one. There is no one calling and mailing and doing anything after week 1, month 3, month 6, month 12. So if you're going to do this, where should you start? After week 1, after month 1, after month 6, after month 12, because there's no one playing in that arena, you guys. Nobody, okay? Now, next question. What agents working expireds are going actually and meeting the people and seeing the people and face to face? And now you're thinking to yourself, okay, I piss them off by mailing them. I call them and they slam the phone in. And wait, you're telling me to go see them face to face? That's going to make it better? No, what I'm telling you is that I know for one thing and one thing to be certain, you guys, in order for me to get their business, would you all agree? They need to have met me, see if they could like me, see if they could trust me, and would there be somebody that might consider marketing their home? And the only way I can do that is by seeing them and meeting them face to face. Would that be a fair comment?
Yes.
And no one's going face to face because I know it, and everybody's going by mail and call, and they're doing it in the first and the first week and first day, and no one's going after that. So that's where I'm challenging you guys. If you're going to do this, let's work where no one else is working, and let's do it where nobody else is doing it. So I'll actually say to them, expired, I bet you everybody that's reached out to you has called you or mailed you. And I need you to know that I don't market properties like anyone else. The fact that I'm here and the only one that I'm here shows you that I do things differently than anybody else. Would that be a fair comment, Mr. and Mrs. Expired?
Yep.
Right? And I don't tell them that I do things different. I'm there at the door because I'm acting and showing them that I do things different. Because everybody else called, everybody else mailed, the passive ways of doing it. But I'm here and I show up just like I have today when I market and sell your home as well. And you can expect that kind of service and that kind of structure when you're hiring someone like me. I'm a lot like nobody else. Okay? Now, the first steps, you have to build a plan with this. So this takes work. Now, God bless these two companies. And I don't know if you heard of them, but the Red X and Land Voice. Okay? So these are two companies that literally will integrate your MLS systems, and they're a crisscross resource for automated integrated system that double checks and crisscrosses and makes sure they're not withdrawn and they're not sold or they're not already listed. And I don't get any kickback or affiliate in that, but I know that they live hard and fast, and that this is probably the simplest way to integrate a plan where you just show up in the morning and your inbox has your expired sitting there for you. Has anybody had an experience and used Red X or Land Voice?
I used both
Yeah.
of them.
Okay. Yeah. And were you happy with it?
It stressed me out because it got you onto like a program where you just automatically start calling and And that's when I just went from one upset person to the next. So I wasn't prepared for it. It was
Okay.
not psychologically how to approach that.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. So RedX and LandVoice are two systems that I recommend that a lot of our coaching clients and my coaching clients use. And so consider using that source. It's the crisscross and it's the heavy lifting of the expired process, because there's nothing worse than you getting egg on your face and already like it's listed. And even better, it's listed with one of the agents in your office and you're like, oh, that was embarrassing, right? So make sure you put the time in and make sure you use the system that cross-references and ensures it, okay? So that's your first step, and the first way to develop your plan is using RedX or LandVoice or a similar type of service or product, okay? And be careful. Make sure you're in control of that process and you're in control of how the process is going. So option number one, we talked about this, was what are they mailing and how are they mailing? So I know that most expired agents, the top expired agents, are doing this. So they're preparing their expired mailing pieces, and they're placing them in an unusual or abnormal size of envelope, like a 9-inch by 9-inch envelope. So the reason behind that is the psychological envelope. The delivery of a 9 by 9 envelope makes it look like it's a wedding invitation or a party invitation. It's not your normal standard envelope, and it's not your normal document that you're getting from your lawyer or somebody that, right? So that's one trick that they use in the expired mailing process, is to use a 9-inch by 9-inch envelope size. Now, they hand address and handwrite the address of the expired on the envelope so that it looks like it's personal and it's not something that's coming from a real estate agent. So handwriting the addresses on the envelopes is another plan of attack for that mailing process. They also go and find like 4th of July or wedding bell stamps, or they find a special themed related stamp that they put on their expireds and that. So again, it looks like it's personal in that, and they'll open it up. And the other last trick that they use on this is you take a wax seal. So for example, I'll get waxseal.com to make me a wax seal that I can wax seal the back of the envelope with my initials WW on there. With this professional graphics and design and that, so that the wax seal's on the back of it. So let me ask you guys this. If you got a 9 by 9 envelope, cream colored, with a wedding bell stamp or a 4th of July stamp or some kind of a themed stamp on it with a wax seal on the back of it, do you think it's getting opened every time, yes or no?
Yes, of course. Definitely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So there's your external mailing piece strategy to get it open every time. There's your steps there. Okay. Now, what am I putting in it? Item number one, inside this envelope is a double-sided postcard. On one side of the postcard, it has an image saying, need real estate help. And you might have like a life jacket or a life preserver, and it says, don't drown, there's no need. And then the other side of the postcard says, no matter why you need to sell, help is here. And we created this. I am a certified distress property expert, CDPE. So you know how you have all your designations with NAR, with all your different designations? Well, we just created a designation, a custom designation for you guys that you can add. Now, it's not endorsed by NAR, but it's endorsed by Wade the Coach. You've all become now CDPEs, okay? So you're certified distress property experts, okay? And you can add that designation to your mailing pieces and to your portfolio now, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, you know the ins and outs of selling homes, and I understand that saving a home can save a life, which can save a family, which can save a future. I know it's cheesy what I just said there, but you're trying to actually legitimately be sensitive and emotional to that. So for whatever reason why you're selling your home, I market your home unlike any other agent, and my marketing gets results. Okay, so that's a mailing piece and an example of how you're trying to play to their emotions and that on that. Okay, second mailing piece that I add to the postcard is a letter that says, do you want your home sold, or sorry, do you want your home just listed, or do you want it sold? Okay, and this letter now explains all your marketing and all the things that you do to sell a home in detail. You will be absolutely surprised how many expireds have never been told the agent, the previous realtor's marketing plan. Just you nailing out your marketing plan in a step-by-step sheet could win you an expired listing, because it just creates a perception that you have and offer so much more than any other agent, because most agents don't take the time to show what their marketing plan is. Okay, so you're marketing yourself with this marketing plan that doesn't list homes, it sells homes. There's a difference. Would you agree? I'm an agent that sells homes, not an agent that lists homes. Okay. Item number 3 inside your envelope is a page of testimonials from people that expired in the past that you've had the ability to help them and to help them do that, right? So, Jamil, you might be able to build this for your office. So there might be a number of people that could pool together, right? Pictures and testimonials of expired sellers that your company and your firm or you as a group have sold together. And the title says, we've done it again and again and again. And it just shows that trail of you being able to help sellers that didn't sell the first time and build a nice visual piece up as a group and as an office together. Okay, guys? As item number.
Yeah.
Any questions on the postcard? Any questions on that marketing letter and
Yeah.
being yourself as a seller, not a lister? Go ahead. Question.
Yeah, so the question I have is, are these 3 different mailings, or are these all in one package?
This is all in one package, and they're all different marketing pieces. So the postcard of Here to Save a Life is in there. The letter showing how you market, how you sell, not list. And the third piece is, we've done it again and again, is the testimonial piece, and it's all in one envelope, Jamil. Good question.
Okay.
Okay?
Right.
Now, wait, there's more. Item number 4 in that envelope. Inside that envelope, okay, you're going to show, right, all the houses and all the things. So you're going to have images of, so you'll have images of people and testimonials, plus you'll have images of houses, and you'll show the percentage of asking price that you managed to sell that home for versus the listing price in that, and how many days it was on the market previous. So let me repeat this. You're going to show images of people, happy couples, with their testimonies that you helped that were expireds, and you're going to show images of homes showing the number of days it was listed and expired before, and then the percentage of asking price you accomplished and achieved when they listed it with you guys the second time. Does that make sense to anybody?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have this visual impression of, I'm going to try and say 10 to 20 homes, and a visual impression of, I'm going to say 6 to 12 people, and the visual impact of seeing people that experienced your remarketing plan and homes that right, that visual impact is going to have an impact on them when they read through that package. Okay? All right? And then the last item is this. You're going to print out their last MLS sheet, and you're going to use a highlighter or you're going to use a software called Snagit. Like Google has a tool called Snagit, and what you can do is you can screenshot their old MLS sheet, and you can put like circles and arrows and questions and highlight and color in that, and you're identifying errors and things that are missing in their previous MLS data sheet of their listing. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
Right? So would you take a house on trade? Question mark. Is this the correct square footage? And so you're trying to identify errors in their previous MLS sheet without, you got to be careful, without flagging the previous agent. We do not want to do that. So when you are pointing out flaws, all we're doing is asking questions. We're not trying to be rude and negative towards the past agent. Does that make sense? So I guess if the photos are really bad on the previous MLS sheet, I'm not going to say, man, your photos suck. I'm going to say, professional photographer, question mark. See the difference?
Yeah.
Right? Get it, guys? So be very careful, because it might be a friend or it might be their mom that listed their place before, right? So I don't want to slag mom. I don't want to poke the bear. I just put down there, professional photographer, question mark. That's all I say. Don't say anything else. Less is more. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Now that's your 5-item package with your seal, your wax seal, your stamp with your event stamp and that, and put it all together. That's what I coach people to do from the mailing perspective. Now, this is only effective if it's followed up. If you don't follow it up in person, you cannot just rely on the mail itself, because everybody else mails too. Okay?
When do you mail it?
You mail it to anybody that hasn't got a mailing, right? Now, the other thought is you could mail these 5 separately and do it 5 times. So sometimes I've got coaching clients that have got their expired listing because they've been tenacious. They take all 5 items and they mail item 1, mail item 2, mail item 3, and then for 5 weeks, And then they're like, oh, enough already. Come and list my house. You just keep bothering me. If you're this tenacious, just come and list my damn property because I want you to stop nailing me now. It's been 5 weeks and it's worked for me too.
The question is, when the listing goes expired, right away you should send this out?
No, because I think everybody else is, Jamil. So I'm going to say, let's go 1 week, 1 month, and work backwards from there, guys, because there's no one playing in that arena, and everybody is day one, and everybody is week one. No one's after that, guys. No one's week 2 and 30 days. No one.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
What about 1 year pass?
How about 1 year?
Yeah.
Yeah, go back. Why not?
Anything.
Why not? Why not? Like, you think about it, if you go back 1 year, how many prospects do we have if we went back 1 year?
A lot. You have a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot that didn't sell.
Exactly. So that's perfect. That's what I mean. So go back. Like, I would start 1 year and move forward. Why not? Just never
Does
know.
RedX do that? For like a year ago, you can go last 12 months, what didn't sell?
Don't know the answer to that question. I assume it does, because if your MLS system has that access, it should be able to.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
That's
Okay, cool. Now let's use the telephone approach, which one of our lucky contestants on the call today experienced this. High click slam.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, I introduced myself. I'm sure you figured it out that everybody. Now here's what I do. Okay. If I can make them laugh, I can make them buy. Okay. So when I go to their door and when I call them, I jokingly say to them, look we've been notified that your home is no longer in the market. And I bet you the last person you want to hear from right now is another realtor. Am I right? And I laughingly say it that way, or at their door, and they chuckle and smile and say, yeah, you got that right. What are you doing calling me, and what are you doing at my doorstep, right? Right? So if you can, so I right off the bat say, hey, I understand. We failed you. We sucked, and I'm here to apologize. And it catches them off guard when I'm actually say we sucked and we failed you, and I'm here to say I'm sorry. People are like, oh, well, it's okay. Like, I catch them off guard, so I go and give them a chance to get mad at me because I'm saying I'm sorry right off the bat, and then I make them laugh, and I say, hey, we've been notified, and I bet you the last thing you want to do is have another agent call you after we sucked and we let you down. Am I right? And they go, yeah, you got that right, man. Okay?
Yep.
So on the call, you ask them, when do you plan on interviewing agents? And are you planning on interviewing them again? And if you sold this home, what would you do next? And so I'm giving you the call script here from telephone call script and that. But I'm going to be forthcoming and say that I'm going to tell you, go see them. Okay? Go see them with empathy, with sympathy. They need to meet you. They need to trust you. They need to understand if they like you. They need to engage with you. You need to ask them thought-provoking, feeling-changing questions, right? And you need to set yourself apart from all the other ones because all the other ones are just mailing and calling. And you're not like all the other ones, right? You show up. So I knock on your doorstep. You answer the door. I say, hi, I'm Wade from Cornerstone. Hey, we all been notified that your house is no longer in the market. I am so sorry. I want to be the first person to tell you we failed you and we're here, and I apologize for organized real estate letting you down. And I'm betting you even more, the last person you want to see at your doorstep right now is another real estate agent. Am I right? And they go, oh, yeah, you got that right. And I say, if I could have just 2 minutes of your time and just ask you a few questions, and then I'll be on my way, I promise. Okay? And they say, sure. 2 minutes, ask your questions. Question number 1, hey, can you tell me, what were you going to do when you sold? So why? And then I just keep probing. And while they're sharing why they wanted to sell and what they were doing, I'm taking notes. Guys, would you agree with me? The number one thing that they are upset about is that they felt like they were never heard, the other person didn't listen, and the other person didn't communicate. Would you agree?
Yeah.
So right away, I'm letting them tell me what their story was, and I'm fanning those embers, and I'm getting them to tell me why they want to sell, and I'm taking down notes, and I'm probing, and then I recap and summarize and say, so what I heard you say today was that you were going to sell this, and if this happened, you can get close to your grandchildren and your children, and your health's not this great and this, that. And I ask them this question, did I hear you? And they're like, yes, Wade, you heard me. Great. Now, next question, can you tell me, why do you think it didn't sell? I'm looking at the photos. I'm looking at your sheet. I'm saying to myself, why didn't this not sell? I can't believe it. And they go, yeah, we can't believe it either. But why do you think it didn't sell? And I probe. And again, while they're sharing with me about why they didn't sell and venting and letting air out, I'm taking notes. and then I'm recapping and summarizing what I heard them say. And I say, did I hear you? Yes. And then my last question is, it's a combination question. If I can renew your hope and help you accomplish this goal and ensure that none of these mistakes that I shared with you and shared with me would be repeated, are you familiar with the remarketing strategies that I used to sell homes that didn't sell the first time? And what's the answer going to be 99% of the time when I ask them, are they familiar with my remarketing strategies that I used to sell homes that didn't sell the first time? What's their answer going to be?
No.
No.
No, of course. So a legend in the world, my mentor said, you try for the appointment 3 times. Not once, guys, 3 times. So I go for it and say, would you be interested in meeting with me in an alternative choice close? Would now be a good time for us to sit down and share those remarketing strategies, or would tomorrow at 4 o'clock be better for you? And they say, well, and they do the river dance, and they're trying to get me to go away. And so I'll say to them, let me just share one of my remarketing strategies. So I want to share with you a remarketing strategy called the odd sale price. Are you familiar with it? And they say, no, the odd sale price is this. I use 888s for Asian Chinese investors, and I use the list price of 888 in all of your listing price and that, so that it pops out, stands out, and it attracts a foreign buyer and foreign investor, and they love the 888 number and that. What are your thoughts and ideas on that remarketing strategy of odd sale price? And they go, that's interesting. I like that. And then I ask them, how would you like to hear more? And when would be a good time? And I close another time for the appointment. I don't get it. I share another remarketing strategy, okay? Here's my remarketing strategy. I hand them a physical sheet of qualifying questions. This is my client qualifier system. So and guess what? This resonates with them because they believe that every tire kicker and time waster went through their house on their last listing. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
So I physically hand them a set of questions, and you're like, I don't have those set, Wade. Yes, you do. You know what they are. So you're going to write down when you finish up this call a set of qualifying questions. So these are questions that I ask a consumer that inquires about their home, or these are questions about a buyer agent that's inquiring about showing the property to a potential buyer. So I say to them, how many homes have you looked at? Who's your are you paying cash, or are you requiring financing? Who's that financing with? How many homes have you looked at? How many offers have you made? Why haven't you bought one? Ba-da-da-da. And I give them that list of qualifying questions, and then I ask them, there's another remarketing strategy and how I ensure doing things differently. Would you like to hear more? And go for the appointment close. Then I might try one more time, and another suggestion with it could be the fact that I use a strategy for them in regards to maybe pre-appraisal, a third-party bank appraisal, or maybe it being pre-home inspected and mediated or something like that. I'm going to share some of my remarketing strategies and give them a taste of that and close 3 times. And the law of averages tells me that if I try closing for an appointment and sharing a remarketing strategy 3 times, I have a 62% chance of them saying yes and giving me an appointment to share my remarketing strategy in detail with them face to face. One of my favorite remarketing strategies is a Dutch auction. Anybody know what a Dutch auction strategy is?
No.
We remarket a seller's home that will be reduced X number of dollars every week until it sells. So it creates a buzz. Now, most people say, oh, that's a little bit risky for me. I like the idea, but I'm a little nervous about the concept of how far I'd have to go to reduce in that, right? But the fact that the number one complaint they complain your brokers is that you guys couldn't market a 5-year-old birthday party because you call me every week and just tell me to do what every week? Drop my price. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't come up with ideas and remarketing strategies. You just call me every week and tell me to drop my price. Okay? So I'm going to send you guys, Jimmy, I'll send you a document that has about 30 remarketing ideas. It's called the Saleability Checklist. I'll send you that document after this call, and it'll give you a plethora of ideas, of remarketing ideas that you could make a house more saleable other than dropping the price. Okay, guys? Like a perfect example would be just offer a 1/4 point or a 1/2 point more on the cooperating selling agent side. Would you all agree?
Yeah.
The fastest way to operating selling agents is just offer them a 1/4 or a 1/2 point more than everybody else. And then
Correct.
I show them just the little minuscule amount of money that the 1/4 point is extra, and I've given them a remarketing edge on getting their house sold with cooperating agents. And that's another good remarketing strategy that you can share with them, right?
Right.
Okay? Any questions about expireds today, you guys?
No, great way.
Cool.
Any questions? All right, Wade, thank you.
Okay, you guys, I'll send you the recording and I'll send you the slide deck. Plus, I'll send you that remarketing tool called the Saleability Checklist that'll give you some ideas in that. Hopefully, you guys found the content helpful in that, and hopefully, you can go out there and
Yes.
okay, that's
Thank
awesome.
You guys, was it all helpful?
Oh, yeah. Thank you,
Very
Wade.
good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome, guys. We'll chat soon. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Okay,
Bye-bye, you too.
take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye for now.